it's their intrinsic
And
nature.
this food basically robs.
Sound feasible, sound like Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I wanted to talk about the election. You know, tomorrow is election day and everything like that. And the thing is this: when African Americans, when Black people start talking about what happens in the Black community, things that go on in the Black community, people need to realize that this is not something that we are doing to be, you know, racist, something that we cannot be, or to not include white people, or to be negative in any way. We're just specifically talking about what happens in the Black community, just like white people talk about what happens in the white community. And obviously it's clear that there are things that affect us in the Black community that do not affect people in the white community. We live in a class society. If you are rich or wealthy or middle class, you are okay. Upper middle class, lower middle class, or what have you. But there is a people that exists that is called poor. There are people who live in poverty, and you have to understand this. And these are the issues that we face in the Black community. So when we discuss issues in the Black community, these are the things that we're talking about. You know, what is going to happen that's going to change the Black community, that's going to make it better, that's going to eliminate poverty, that's going to give Black people more jobs, that's going to help with the economic situation in the African American community. So when we look at the candidates, first of all, one, you have Hillary Clinton, whose husband is responsible for the incarceration of a lot of African American people. We already know where she stands, and she tried to basically fix, you know, that situation, which she cannot fix, as so many lives have been ruined. People's lives have been destroyed, you know, because of the laws that Bill Clinton supported. We understand this, but we can't sit around and act like, you know, stop and frisk. We can't act like, you know, the whole prison industrial complex didn't exist, you know, before and during and after Bill Clinton. This is something that exists. We have to pay attention to the judges, the whole system that will allow something like these private prisons to exist, that promises its investors, you know, that the prisons will be full. You know, so when it comes to the election, who is addressing these issues? Now, of course, the reason why people don't want us to vote for Trump is people believe he has a whole racist attitude. He's racist or what have you. But the main reason that people are pointing to Trump is because he is just showing himself to be clearly the wrong candidate for president. He doesn't seem like, he's fit to be an American president. But we have to pay attention to the way things are. You have everything that Hillary is reported to have done, her history, her background. And we have to realize that they have given us the worst possible candidate against her. And I believe this is by design. So if any other Republican who had, a good background, who was good in any kind of way, who showed up to the election and won the primary, would have came and challenged Hillary Clinton, this tells you that Hillary would have lost probably to a more prominent, more respected Republican. But for some reason, we get Donald Trump, which I believe is a joke that he actually won the nomination. And it's dividing people because a lot of Black people are believing that so many racist white people out there voted for Trump, and gave him the primary. So now, because Trump is, seems to be racist, and because so many racist people seem to support Trump, and so many Black people out here today saying, you know what, you got to go vote. Black people go vote, go do this. If you don't vote, we're in trouble. A racist is going to enter a White House and things are going to be so bad for us. Come on. But this is what you have to understand. I understand how people don't realize how stupid that is, that we need to go vote. First off, we've been voting for years. We fought to vote. When has voting worked for us as African American people? When has voting worked? So if voting actually worked, then we wouldn't be in a situation that we are in now politically. Like, we wouldn't be in a situation that we are in now if voting worked. Everybody, almost the majority of African American voters went out and voted for Barack Obama in 2008. Obama became president. He's the so-called, first Black president. Look at the state that the African American community is in today. Look at the fact that so many Black people are being gunned down and killed by cops. What has Obama done specifically for the Black community? nothing. And it's not just me saying that. So many people have pointed that out, and it's documented. It's very well documented that he took care of every other people, but not African Americans, and no black person have said something. We have not said anything as far as a people coming together and saying, you know what, you have not done anything for us, and we really need to come together and say something to Barack Obama before he leaves office, as if he done something great for African Americans when he has not. So Obama's going to leave, and we're going to get this new president, and then when this new president does whatever it does to African Americans, we can't then jump up and say, well, you're treating us wrong, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, because Obama did nothing, and we said nothing because he was black. And that is the fact. We did not come up and say, you know, Obama, you're not helping us here, you're not helping us there. We have police officers killing us. For God's sakes, you're the fucking president. Do something about it. He's done nothing. Nothing but give speeches and talk and say shit. And because he's black, black people have said nothing. So we can't sit up here and say, oh my God, we have to vote. If we don't vote, we're in trouble. We have been in trouble. If voting worked, we wouldn't be in trouble today. So we can look at it as a numbers game. If that's what people want to do, people want to say, well, you know, black people need to vote, the black vote is going to count. The thing is this. First of all, one, we have already proven that they have silenced the black vote. It's places that has been proven to have rigged ballot boxes to where when black people vote, it didn't count. Remember, that whole thing came out in Florida where the black vote was not counted. We know so many times where elections have been rigged, and has been people who've come forward and testified that they have systems built to cheat the system. And the whole thing is this: when it comes to something as big as president, if you honestly believe that the American people elect a president, then you are a fool. You are a fool if you honestly think that's going to happen. The president is chosen. You can call it a conspiracy theory if you want. It's chosen ahead of time. Everything else that we're seeing here is WWE. It's all for show. So when you look at this show, what are they trying to say? They're trying to give us the worst possible candidate to go against Hillary Clinton, because they already picked Hillary Clinton to be the president. If Hillary Clinton wins, that's proof positive. They already picked her. So what do you do if you want people to accept this horrible candidate for president? You give us somebody who's even worse, or who seems to be worse. So what people think is going to happen is, you know, so many people is going to vote, and if we don't, you know, provide the black vote for Hillary Clinton, then we're going to get this racist in the White House, and then, you know, he's going to do all this horrible stuff to black people that for some reason can't get any more horrible than what we're facing today. It's ridiculous. The whole thing is this. First of all, one, we make up 13% of the population, African Americans. Not all of us can vote. Not all of us are able to vote. And even if we did, if there was, you know, 70% of racist white people in America who wanted to vote for Donald Trump, we still lose. If you split the vote and you still give half of the white people for Hillary, half for Trump, and then we say, well, we're going to really need the black vote to come in and change something. Okay, then we get our candidate, but we've always got our candidate. We've always gotten who we voted for. When has anything changed for us? When has something happened for us that was going to benefit the African American community? We have never seen it. So when we have voted for whoever we voted for in the past, nothing has happened. Nothing has changed. So what makes you think something is going to change now? So it's the same thing every 4 years. We go crazy over who's going to be the president, and are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? We have been doing this, you know, my whole life. We have been doing this for centuries. President promised something, and we expect to get it, and we don't get it, and we say nothing. So the whole thing is this: once the president is in the White House, what obligation does he have or she have to fulfill any promises to us, the people? When have we seen the people actually get what they want from the American president? If that was the case, then everything wouldn't be as fucked up as it is now. What is the job of an American president? To take care of the people, to look out for the people. So how is it that we spend $1.7 billion when $1.3 billion can completely eradicate poverty in America if we dedicated that kind of money? But we're going to go on record in 2000 and I believe it's 2018, I think it is. We're going to go on record as giving Israel about $38 billion over 10 years. We're about to go on record as giving Israel $38 billion over 10 years. Look at all the money we give to other countries in foreign aid. We give away billions in foreign aid to other countries. And look at Detroit. Look at the poverty level in America. Look at the fact that if we dedicated just 1.3 billion a year to America and poverty, that we can completely eradicate poverty in America. Yet we have not done that, but we choose to give Israel $38 billion over the last decade. So if we dedicated $38 billion over 10 years to the American economy, we can completely wipe out poverty in America. We can rebuild schools. We can provide more jobs. We can completely change America around in a decade. Why has that not been done? And this is the hard truth that for some reason people don't want to wake up and realize that lobbyists control America. Corporations control America because corporations control lobbyists. Lobbyists control politicians and they make policy. So our voice is not being heard, and everybody is so content with the little crumbs that they get now. As long as the government is not kicking in their door and they can go to work and they can provide for their family, they don't really give a shit what the government is doing. So, we had the whole Occupy movement when people came together. What happened with that? Nothing. This government gets what it wants. It does not take care of the people because the people really don't give a shit. The people who do give a shit are the rich people who can afford the lobbyists, the rich people who own the corporations and can afford what their lobbyists do for them and their companies, tax benefits and stuff like that. The small guy, the little poor guy on the corner, the guy who's having a hard time keeping his small business open or, trying to find a good job to take care of his family, you don't really have time. You don't know where to go or what to do. So a vote is not going to change any of that. It never has, it never will. It is the policy that must change, not the vote. We've been voting for who we thought is going to change policy for centuries, for decades, I should say, and nothing has changed. So what makes you think something will change now? As I've already said many times before, it's clear who controls this country. We know Wall Street, the corporations, the bankers run everything. It is a fact. It is proven. It's actually documented that America is a corporation. When we talk about this stuff, people for some reason think it's one big conspiracy theory, so we never get taken seriously. I talked about the whole, you look on the back of the dollar, which is the only bill that has not changed. People don't think about that. But you see the crest. You see the fact that it spells Mason. You see the fact that Washington is laid out in a Masonic layout, and at the top you have basically the headquarters for the Scottish Rite Freemasonry. You have a Masonic lodge there, I should say. And people think it's a joke when we talk about this stuff. This stuff is controlled. They're not going to do anything for the people. No fucking election, no president who you elect is going to do anything for you when we know that corporations run everything. Yet you refuse to sacrifice. You refuse to stop giving these corporations money to oppress you. You're going to go spend your money for Thanksgiving. You're going to go blow thousands of dollars on Black Friday, then blow more money on Christmas or what have you, and New Year's and everything like that. You continue to support your oppressor and everybody who is bringing this economy down. It is your own fault that everything is the way that it is. Because when people try to wake you up and tell you what the problem is, you look at them like they're crazy. You can't expect anything to change if you yourself won't change and wake up and at least do the research. You don't got to believe people like me who talk about this kind of stuff. Just do the fucking research yourself and go see what we're talking about to see if there's any validity to it. And you will see who's really running things in this country. I can't believe now, it was almost 2017, that at this day and age, people have not figured out the idiocy of the president position. The fact that it's a puppet post and it is controlled by corporations and people outside of the actual government system. The fact that the Federal Reserve controls our money and they're not federal should tell you something. So when you step back and you look at the whole situation, what we are faced with, and what could possibly happen, either you're going to have the first woman president, and it's going to be euphoria. People are going to be happy and excited that we got this first woman president, and it's going to die down, and there's going to be reality is going to set in, and people are going to look at her with all kinds of issues that's going to keep facing her. People might look at her as weak. It might be problems and issues that we face with this first female president. Who knows? If Trump wins and becomes president, then it's going to offend the rest of the free world that America actually voted for this racist, because they're going to believe that we voted and put them in the White House. So they're going to think we're all racist against the Muslims or what have you anyway. We're going to be attacked by our allies, attacked by our enemies. It's going to probably be war in the streets. Martial law is probably going to happen. Who the hell knows? It can happen with either president. What you need to understand is there is an agenda and it's in place already and it's being followed right now. No matter what we do, they will execute that agenda unless we act accordingly. And to act accordingly means to identify who is the real problem. And that is the corporations, that is the bankers, and actually the politicians. What needs to change is the whole goddamn Senate. Everybody needs to go. Everybody who is not doing what they're supposed to do, their job is to protect the people and do what's right for the people. They are not doing that. The simple fact that we have schools closing and prisons opening should tell you something where your money is going and what is taking place in this country. Come on, people, wake the fuck up. How can't you see what's going on, what's taking place? You control nothing. Your vote does not do shit. You're buying into WWE bullshit, to all the same rhetoric that we face every 4 years. Nothing changes after that 4 years, and you're still falling for it. Obama promised so many things. He promised, shut down Guantanamo. I mean, the one thing you would think he would have did was at least do something for the African American community, so we can at least do something to get people off of welfare who is physically able to work. Now, if you are physically able to work and you're on welfare, that's just no excuse. You shouldn't be on welfare for 2 years if you're physically able to move. So it should have been at least programs designed to help those moms who got so many kids to, with just daycare. Somebody to at least watch their kids so they can go to school or go to work. I mean, that would fix the problem. There's no excuse. People say I got too many kids, I can't work, or what have you. Let's not make this whole thing racial. People say, oh, black people have too many kids, and white people have kids as well. Or black people killing each other, or white people kill each other as well. We do the same shit, but for some reason, everybody want to point their finger at the black community and say, well, the black community is fucked up because black people kill each other, which white people do. Black people have babies out of wedlock, which white people do. Black people are on welfare, which more white people are on welfare than black people. So we got to stop fucking arguing about stupid racist back and forth shit that's not going to fix anything and really identify the actual problem. If there were programs in place to help women, okay, she got a bunch of kids, help her take care of the kids as far as daycare so she can at least work. If a mom is at least trying to go out there and get a job and work and support herself and her kids, then we got to at least help her out with the daycare to do so. We got to stop thinking just because a woman has 4 kids that she's a whore, that she went out there and had 4, kids with 4 different baby fathers or what have you. That's not always the case. Sometimes women are in marriages and they have a bunch of kids and they think everything is going to be fine, and the husband does something or the husband dies or what have you, and they left with kids. We got to really be sensitive to that situation. If you want to and want to do it on a case-by-case basis and say, well, listen, you got 6 kids by 6 different baby daddies, you on your fucking own, then at least then do that. I don't give a shit, but at least help the people who actually need the help, who's not whores. I mean, if y'all want to make it about who's whore and who's not, then you're going to find out there's going to be a bunch of fucking white people that's not going to get the help and a bunch of black people, because there's a lot of whores out there who having a bunch of kids out of wedlock. So don't just put it on African Americans like everybody ain't doing the same shit that we is. So we're going to see. Election is going to happen. We're going to get the president, and the same shit is going to happen. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to happen to where everybody is doing better, the economy is doing great, because these corporations will still be in place. The same crooked politicians who is milking the system and keep getting reelected and keep getting terms in Congress will still be there. Unless we get rid of these people and change the system, then nothing will actually change. We got to change everything. It's not just the president. So at the end of the day, it's not going to matter who we really put in there. We got to stop running around screaming at all black people saying vote, vote. It's not going to change anything if Donald Trump gets into the White House. It's not going to, somehow change the racist people who want to vote for him into, African-American liking people who like black people and want to marry black people, what have you. This shit is not going to change. They're going to be racist because they're racist. It's just a fact. Just because they voting for fucking Trump doesn't mean that they are racist on top of that. But we know the majority of the people who vote for him is racist people. Okay, that's the fact. Nothing is going to change that fact whether he's in the White House or not. They're still going to be racist. So the whole issue is not about a president. It's way deeper than that. It's so much more to that. So if you want to vote for Trump or vote for Hillary, it don't fucking matter. They already decided who is going to be in the fucking White House. The only reason why they want you to vote is so that they can know how much influence they actually had on you with all the WWE shit they put out there. So they're going to know what fucking black person is gullible enough to fucking go ahead and actually believe in this system and process to go stand their ass in line and vote for a president. That's why they call your ass for jury duty after that, because they say, well, shit, if you're stupid enough to go vote, then you're stupid enough to sit in a fucking jury trial and get paid peanuts, for your time. Now, yes, there are other things that's on the ballot box that can be voted on, marijuana being legal and stuff like that. I mean, that shit is going to pass regardless. What they want to pass, they're going to get. They just want to see how many people actually agree with what they're trying to do so they can know how to judge the backlash or non-backlash, if they can feed off of it or not feed off of it. That's all voting is. We're going to see how many stupid ass people actually believe the bullshit we kicking out And that's who the voters are. I mean, everybody's not voting, so we're not really getting the majority decision of how everybody feel about the candidate or whatever you're voting for. Okay, so that's my rant. I'm done. And I know there's a lot of people out there who's smart enough to understand what's going on. And I just wanted to do this video real quick. Thanks for listening to me rant, and I see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.